There's a lot of noise in the B2B sales development world. Content marketing, inbound, lead gen, demand gen, account based marketing. There's a lot of noise. And I want to break this down really simply for you. Despite what you think, a marketer thinks or a business developer thinks that there is this very gracious customer journey, according to IBM, which I think they know something about B2B sales, something like 79 or 80% of customers have made a purchase decision or made a shortlist for a purchase decision before they engage with you. If you are thinking about demand generation, how much content do I make? Do I do advertising? How do I drive people to my site? How do I get them to engage? Where do I put them in the funnel? All of that stuff, which is generally considered demand generation or lead generation or revenue operations, those things are best thought of as a mental model for you to understand where to put your efforts, because in fact, the idea of a customer journey and particular pieces of content that are in sales enablement, those are your concepts. Those are internal marketing and business development concepts that are helpful for you to organize your work, but they don't actually match to buyer behavior. When we're thinking about landing pages and opt-ins and white papers to download and spot in the funnel and all that sort of stuff, realize that that is mostly for you to kind of keep track of stuff internally, because the people in the outside world don't actually know about any of that stuff or care about any of that stuff. The most effective way for you to match the open world of inbound marketing with your sales process and what you think the buyer journey is to actually focus on outreach and connection with your market. Because if you do cold outreach or even warm outreach, and you are talking to somebody you can immediately understand because you're having a real conversation about where they are in their decision-making process, then you can say, aha, I talked to Joanne, and Joanne is really early in their stage. Now I've got some stuff I know I can show to them. Or you can find out like, oh my goodness, Josephine is way down, ready to buy tomorrow. I have got to get in front of them right now. But on the marketing side, the technology side, the content side, you don't really know where those people are until you actually speak to them. The idea of demand gen and lead gen, let's think about it this way. Demand gen is just trying to separate the world into two groups: people who are interested in your solution and people who are not. Outreach and engagement, like SDRs and BDRs do for SaaS companies, or what we do at Retriever, where we reach out to people to assess their desire to learn about a solution, that is actually, in many respects, higher resolution engagement, because they are declaring where they are in their decision-making process. When you tie those two things together, separating the world into people who are interested and people who are not. So the people who engage with your marketing content and fill out forms and that sort of stuff, they're interested on some level. We don't know really how much, but if we match that up with human follow-up or human outreach, then we get really high resolution understanding of, is this a lead or not? That's what we are really trying to do when we are trying to increase our pipeline opportunity or grow our business, is we're trying to figure out, in that world of people who are interested on some level in our solution, which ones are ready to go. This is really hard for most organizations because you've got salespeople or BDRs or outsourced solutions like Retriever who are only involved in outreach and that sort of a discussion where they're sorting through where people actually are in their desire to engage. We need to tie that together with all of the content and marketing and opportunity to engage in a non-human way, so we can essentially learn the signals and the things that indicate people are truly interested. We get that high resolution data from human discussion, and then we need to map it and augment the way that we think about the customer journey. When we've got lead gen and demand gen together, then we end up with something that is both high scale, meaning we're gathering the largest possible audience who is interested, and we've got high resolution by gathering information and understanding the particular ways that prospects are thinking about the business. When we tie those together, we stop thinking about lead generation or demand generation. What we start thinking about is commitment creation. How do we get our prospects to commit to engaging with us? And how do we express in a human way how we are committing to the success of our prospects? Demand gen and lead gen, they're not the same thing, and they have different scale and different resolution. But when you put them together, the output is the opportunity to create commitment.